even as that conversation and discussion begins at this Mombasa, in Mombasa, State House Mombasa, I beg your pardon, we are also keenly focusing on what just the Council of Governors has to say about this. Remember that they have not been invited for that meeting between the President and the doctors' unions. And joining me in studio right now, like I promised earlier, is Bernard Adika, who is the Director of Health at the Council of Governors. Thank you so much for joining us on News Center. So first things first, can you confirm that indeed you are not invited for this meeting that's happening in Mombasa?
Yes, thank you for inviting us for the interview.
Right.
I think maybe first I could start off with a bit of history about what happened yesterday.
Yes, yes.
Because we know negotiations have been going on. And negotiations started way back in 16th, 17th of November. But of course we had the Christmas break.
Right.
And so the talks were resuming yesterday. And yesterday we had an intergovernmental meeting. Whereby I think you are still also focusing on the Senate story.
Yeah.
So when the governors left the Senate from presenting the views on the IBC process, so we went straight to a meeting with the CS and the PS of our Ministry of Health, in which we were planning to have a meeting today that was also going to pick up the negotiations from where they stopped last year. Yeah, so as we talk now, there's a meeting that is already happening at Afia House.
At Afia House?
At Afia House, yeah. But we are seeing, of course, the media indicating that there's also another meeting happening in Mombasa.
All right. So this meeting that's taking place at Afia House right now, who is there right now?
We expected, the meeting was called by the Director of Medical Services. Yes. And so he was to chair the meeting, and the Council of Governors was going to be represented. It's actually represented as we talk now.
And did the doctors' unions also represented? Can you confirm that?
As at yesterday, they were stuck in Mombasa. And so if there is any representation, maybe it would be another group of representation. Okay. That is, yeah.
All right,
so the meeting is happening now, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about these negotiations. Even as the president comes in to kind of like unlock this situation, what has been on the table so far for the doctors? What is it that you can say has been a solid offer given to them? You know, with these meetings that we've been seeing with the Council of Governors, with the officials at the Health Ministry.
Yeah, basically I think we also need to look at the genesis of why the strike. The strike is all about a CBA. And this CBA was signed between the Ministry of Health and the Doctors' Union. And that is back in 2013. And we all know that devolution had happened in 2010. And after devolution, again, the county governments are now employers. And so up to 80% of the doctors that are currently on strike are employed by the county governments, and that through the Labor Relations and the Employment Act, basically a collective bargaining agreement should be between the employer and the employee.
Right.
And in this case, with the county governments having had come into place, the current CBA has kind of excluded the county government, so they are not part of the CBA. And so our position would be that how do we then get into negotiations with the doctors as employers, then to have a CBA. And so one of the actions was that following today's meeting, then we would start the process of negotiating with the doctors so that we get the 47 county governments engaged with the doctors as their employees.
All right.
In trying to bring some labor relations in the long run. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we likely to see the president do today? Is there another special offer that he could actually give them? Because as per yesterday, the doctors' union seemed to be softening on their stand. They were saying that they just need to know, the framework and how this will be implemented.
Yeah, as we talk now, what we had yesterday was an offer that was in place. And it is more or less the same offer that had been there following the last negotiations. Okay. And so today we are going to firm up that offer so that we return back to work. But the position is that any efforts that is going to be made to get the doctors back to work, and then we try to harmonize and pacify the whole process that having a recognition agreement and a CBA with the doctors as a process that then should continue while work continues.
Okay.
Because as we know now, Kenyans are really suffering.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So it should be like work in progress.
It is work in progress, getting the CBA and the recognition agreements and all the other requirements in terms of having a very peaceful industrial relationship with the doctors. Yeah.
So this, finally, maybe you can talk to us about this, the very issue about this CBA, that 300% pay increase. Is it tenable right now?
I think it is in common domain, in public domain, that it is not tenable. But there is an appreciation that everyone needs to be well remunerated. And so how do we work towards giving an offer that can get things back to, the health system back to operation. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Bernard Adika. He is the Director of Health at the Council of Governors. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Let's move